The last 2 months here in Namibia have been fantastic. The diversity of wildlife in this reserve is so incredible because, crucially, its varied habitats were never totally destroyed. And the small animals like the birds and insects remained. Everywhere there's something going on and a variety of species to see.
I think he's a slow worm. That is amazing. I'm not quite sure, but he looks like a slow worm. I'll have to have a look in the books. That's the thing about this place, though. There is so many creatures here.
Here in Erindi, the fact that the habitat survived virtually intact means that the land can sustain the reserve's growing population of wild animals. And although this project only began in 2007, progress is already evident, even if some of the newcomers are still finding it hard to settle in.
He wants to show us he's more dominant.
It's a really exciting time to be here at the moment because there's so much going on. It's really early doors in this project. And whenever you're trying to do something like this, you can't just let the animals go and see how they get on. There has to be real management, and that means lots of hands-on work.
The latest animals to be introduced to the park are 4 female cheetahs known as the Chocolate Sisters. Brought up in captivity, it's important that they're closely monitored because they're in the wild for the very first time. James Slade from the Cheetah Conservation Fund leads the team. They're here to check whether the new cheetahs are hunting successfully. There are plenty of large prey species in Erindi. But today, it's a small antelope called a steenbok that the cheetahs have in their sights. Suddenly, a hunt's underway.
You want to see what happens to a steenbok when 4 cheetahs catch it? This is not for the faint-hearted.
Witnessing a kill for the first time means a lot. It's a sure sign that the Chocolate Sisters are adapting to their new life in the wild. I'm really keen to meet the cheetahs for myself, and it's a couple of days before I have a chance of a close-up view.
Well, they seem bigger than cheetah I've been near before, but maybe it's just I'm so close. I'm not used to being this close to cheetah.
Well, yeah, I mean, these 4 girls are very large. Chanel especially is one of the biggest cats I've ever seen. You can see as she's moving there. Yeah. You can see just how big she is. You can see all the muscle definition. She's really, really improved since she's been released. I mean, she's just put on mass and especially muscles.
So obviously Chanel is the big cat. She's the, she's the strong one. She's the good hunter. What can you tell me about the Chocolate Sisters?
Okay. Well, the Chocolates are quite a famous family, actually. They came to us as a group of 5 when they were young. Hershey's very, very much a lazy cat. She doesn't like to do too much, but also Hershey is the most food-motivated cheetah I've ever experienced in my life. She's the first one to get in there, to start eating, and she's usually the last one there as well. Nestle's a little bit more shy. She's definitely sort of the more standoffish one of the entire group. But at the same time, when it comes to a kill site or when they've got their food, she's the most protective. And then Toblerone. Toblerone's been really, really important for the group. She's probably the most closely bonded to Chanel. And I think Chanel's taught her the most as well. Toblerone was the first after Chanel to actually make a kill. So she's sort of been emulating her a lot.
They're such old girls as well. These aren't spring chickens anymore. So they've spent a long time in captivity. Are you surprised at just how well they've settled in here?
In the wild, cheetahs would only live about 7 to 10 years. So I think this lifestyle in captivity has almost rejuvenated them a little bit. It's given them an extra lease on life. They're 8, probably coming up on 9 soon, and Chanel now is 10 years old, getting close to 11 as well. I'm happy with what we've seen so far.
So am I. I can't believe I got this close to cheetah.
Yeah.
But in the wild, adult female cheetahs normally live solitary lives. And from now on, James will be watching to see if these newcomers stick together or strike out on their own.
Not all the big animals have been brought into this area. Even when this was farmland, there was wildlife knocking around. And in the same way as you can walk in the British countryside and see foxes, badgers, rabbits, that sort of thing, here there were giraffe, oryx, and even leopards.
Unlike cheetahs, which use their incredible speed to hunt on the open plains, the reserve's other resident spotted cat, the leopard, uses stealth to ambush its prey. These big cats weigh up to 100 kilograms and are almost always solitary, except when they have young. Because Erindi is the home of an internationally famous leopard program, it's a fantastic place to see these secretive animals.
There we go. Oh yes, look at that.
Expert Natasha de Woronin and the team have trapped and collared more than a dozen leopards. And sometimes that means getting your hands dirty.
Wow. So not fresh meat then?
No, it's in fact not very old, but it's not very fresh either. It's
not
very
been-
well ripened. I think what we're going to do is we've cut it nicely into pieces.
Oh, yes, it's all
I'm
been
going to ask you
squared.
to grab
Yeah,
one
yeah,
out.
that's
We can,
fine, yeah.
in fact, use that one. It's perfect.
Okay. God, I'm amazed that a leopard will eat this, because if you think of domestic cats, they don't eat rotten stuff. They really only want fresh meat.
I'm highly, almost embarrassed to say that what I think is the world's most beautiful cat will eat something very happily that smells like this.
This is a...
If I may, Steve, I'm going to give you a great job here
Okay.
to hook yourself a little dragging mechanism
Oh, okay. So why that
and then
up?
poke it nicely
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
the
yeah,
smell gets dragged behind you.
I wish I could convey just how bad this smells. But that's the important thing. Laying down as much scent for the leopards to pick up on and follow back to the trap.
Collaring leopards is vital because it gives Natasha the chance to observe individuals on a daily basis. This young female has already been collared. And she's important because she only left her mother a few months ago and is just establishing her hunting grounds.
This is Topaz. Topaz is a young female. She's not quite 2 years of age yet. She's almost 2, but not quite. She left her mom 5-6 months ago, and she's starting to try and establish territory, but she's so much fun because she's in her late teenage era, if that's the right word that I can use, and she's very inquisitive about everything. She's got to test everything. It's just like children, actually. She's got to test everybody, try everything, have a look who's here. She likes to come to the vehicle and she stops first to see who's driving. And I tend to use my voice. It seems a bit strange, but she's very used to my voice. Then she'll check who's in the back seat and she'll come around and she'll see if there's anybody on the other side. And then she'll do the 360 and off she'll go and continue whatever she was doing. So she stops just for a short period to see what's happening. I think in general, leopards have an intense look. It's amazing. And they don't look at you, they look through you. Their eyes are amazing.
Over the coming months, Natasha will watch and wait to see what Topaz does next. For this young leopard, the battle for survival has just begun. If she can establish her first territory and have cubs, she'll play a vital role in restoring the natural balance to this newly created animal kingdom. Coming up, the newly introduced cheetahs move in for the kill, but this time the stakes are high.
We've got zebra and oryx straight ahead. You can see the cheetahs are chasing them all over the place here.
I don't much fancy being impaled by an oryx, do you?
Here in Namibia's Central Highlands, the wet season has seen the heaviest rains in a century. And during my stay, I've witnessed incredible storms and torrential downpours.
It's impossible to work in this, but it's brilliant for wildlife.
All this rainfall has flooded the waterholes. And around these oases, many of the park's colourful bird species have begun to breed. Weaver birds are building their nests, and hornbills are feeding their young, carefully concealed for protection. In the plentiful waters, the park's Nile crocodiles jostle with the hippos. The third largest land mammal, weighing up to 3 tons. Living in small pods with one dominant bull, these vegetarians can be extremely aggressive. And when a small croc gets in the way, this hippo uses its sheer size to clear a path. But life around these rich wetlands is about to change. From now on, this part of Namibia's Central Highlands won't see rain for many months, and temperatures will soar above 40 degrees Celsius. In this dusty desert, small pools will be the only places where animals can take a drink. And life for all of Erindi's inhabitants will be tough. The change of season will pose a big challenge to the reserve's newly introduced cheetahs. They'll have to adapt fast to life in the wild if they're to survive. Before I leave, I pay them one more visit, and again we go in on foot. Because they're radio-collared, James gets us near by picking up their signal.
Okay, Steve, we're getting pretty close now. We're not too far up. I think they're just somewhere past in these bushes here.
We know they're not far, but in the dense grass and bush, it's likely we'll be on top of the cheetahs before we see them. Then, there's a telltale sign of their presence.
That's the girls there. Can you hear that chirp? Almost sounds like a bird call.
That's them.
That's them.
That does sound like a bird, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the girls. Yes, we've got zebra and oryx straight ahead.
Oh, they're running.
And a wildebeest. And there's oryx moving around over here, so we've had just about every prey species you could want in one area.
With this amount of game animals, the girls could be on a kill.
We've just got the most amazing shot of an oryx right in front of us, with a cheetah looking at them in the background.
Oh, yes.
So if you look straight ahead where this oryx is, there's cheetah right directly behind them.
It's clear that the cheetahs are hunting. With their large horns, oryx are extremely dangerous prey to take on. But 4 females together do stand a chance of taking one down.
You can see the cheetahs are chasing them all over the place here.
Yeah, okay. Then we realise they're after a small oryx calf hidden in the grass. The mother is determined to defend her calf.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble. That's absolutely amazing.
But the cheetahs remain persistent, and suddenly the calf is in the open.
Come. There's the calf, there's the calf. Eyes right, eyes right. Back up. I don't much fancy being impaled by an oryx, do you? The back off. Yeah. Oh my God. Right, back off.
Trying to escape was a fatal choice for the calf. Once on the move, it's easy prey.
That was unbelievable. You can't imagine how rare a sight that is. But this battle might have been going on for quite some time. The oryx had a calf here and was trying to defend it, but against 4 cheetah, it didn't stand a chance. The calf is only tiny, and unfortunately, I think it's met its grisly end, but it does mean that our cheetahs are doing really well. They're fending for themselves. It is quite tragic to see those tiny little calves, and you think, are you so into cheetahs that you can't feel for the little guy?
No, absolutely. Of course we do. I mean, we get into
Yeah.
conservation for a reason that we love all animals, and you don't like to see it happen. But try as we might, we're never going to turn these girls into vegetarians.
Yeah.
So Erindi's been quite pleased with the fact that they are predominantly hunting oryx here, because there is a good population of them.
Yeah.
They are very stable here, and oryx in a lot of areas tend to not have a specific calving season. And so therefore they can have calves all year round. It's really the perfect prey species for them. It's helping to control populations here without causing any major declines.
It's an important part of this ecosystem to be able to keep those antelope species down, so they're doing their bit. No, well, it's working well.
It's really, I'm lost for words.
That is utterly astounding. I could have gone my whole life and not seen that, and I just feel incredibly privileged to see these 4 cats. They're doing so well, and I'm just really, really pleased that probably from now on they're going to be absolutely fine.
Although it's always tragic to see an animal killed, this is all part of maintaining the natural balance between predator and prey within this fledgling ecosystem. With so many oryx and game in the reserve, the predators must play this vital role. And it seems these once captive cheetahs can look forward to a productive new life in the wild. My trip to Namibia is now at an end. As a vet, I've spent most of my life trying to save animals, and I feel privileged to have had the chance to help some of the most endangered species on Earth. Over the last few weeks, I've become part of the park's dedicated wildlife team, helping them track and monitor their rarest creatures. And I've been allowed to make my contribution towards ensuring this place can become truly wild again. However, this complex ecosystem is full of surprises.
I think that's the nicest thing about nature and being in a place like this is we learn so much.
And there will always be new challenges for the team.
Okay, I think this is our last chance at trying to get Shadow. If he comes close enough, Ruin's going to dart him.
But despite their best efforts, nature is unpredictable. And the loss of 13 painted dogs to a lightning strike proves how fragile life is here.
This is an important breeding programme. If we can get their numbers up, we can get them back out into the wild where they belong.
The chance to play just a small part in all of this has been an incredible journey.
I've loved my time here at Erindi. I think this is the most amazing place. I think it's still very much a work in progress. The animal populations haven't reached that natural balance yet. And maybe they won't. There will always be a need for some management. But I think they've got the team here with the skills, the enthusiasm, and the dedication to make that happen. I think the future's quite rosy.